you look. Welcome to episode
That's
5 of
real
Whiskey
high.
Sour Libations and Conversations. This is the great music debate featuring Sir Mike Creighton, who is very, very live right now and loud, as we can still hear your
Hey.
smoke detector the following week. But at least you're clear. You don't look like you're on an Android anymore. So that's a great thing. And hopefully this week you get no pop-ups. Don't laugh. You did it.
Wow, you was tough.
Technically you didn't do it, but somebody did it. So how is your week going thus
You was
far?
terrible.
Okay, why?
No, you don't have to say that though. You don't have to say nothing like that. We left that in the past.
Okay. Well, hopefully it's a better week than what it was last week. Okay, well, this episode I am drinking Tullamore Dew and my Irish coffee.
Hey.
I'm trying to feature a different whiskey. That means I have to go shopping this weekend. Last week was this week is Tullamore Dew. And hopefully, I catch a lot of sales so I
Man.
can load up. So smooth in my coffee because clearly I needed a nap and an extra kick. Here we go. Tomorrow there is a versus battle featuring Gucci Mane and Jeezy.
Hmm.
I'm guessing who backed out? Was it T.I.? T.I. backed out. So
Well, I wouldn't say he backed out.
well, the
From
culture
at
wanted.
first, Jeezy. Well, no, Jeezy actually wanted Gucci at first, but Gucci turned him down. So that's when Ti jumped in and was like, "I do it." But then nobody want to see that because Jeezy will watch Ti. Nobody want to see that.
Okay, you keep bringing this washed of T.I. What did you got against T.I.? Because I don't think that Jeezy would wash underground hits maybe, but like mainstream wise, which is a lot of the versus battles, it's not happening because it's not because Ti all around was a bigger artist. No, Ti was a bigger artist, is the bigger artist, still is a bigger artist. If you think about
Mm.
the everything mainstream, when I say mainstream, I'm including the Anglos. Think about it.
Hmm. I
And
mean, only mainstream song that's still good from Ti is what Swagger Like Us. That's the only one I can think of.
okay, why you wanna 24s, live your life, dead
24s.
and
Come on
gone.
now.
It is so many songs, and Jeezy did not have that mainstream appeal. That's why he didn't have as many like top like Billboard hits like that. I'm telling you, I'm
My
talking no.
president is black. My president is black. Come
Yes,
on now.
that was for us. Yes, his Lambo is blue. We know, but I'm saying, really think about
Come
it
on
logically.
now.
I think, and when you really think about mainstream, T.I. has been able to secure a show that is still running on VH1. That's mainstream appeal. I'm talking about like mainstream, unfortunately, includes the white audience. Now, I don't think they watching T.I. Family Hustle, but I'm saying as far as musically, they are listening to T.I., which is how T.I. keeps getting sucked into
Hmm.
bullshit and speaking up for us when we don't have the same political views. They really think about it. I think your smoke detector agrees with me.
Wow, you was
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm a
But I
petty.
mean, I mean, when you go back and listen to a Ti record, they don't sound the same as they did when I was younger. Like a Jeezy song, like it seemed like Jeezy songs age better with time. It seems like Ti songs didn't. That I mean, like
Really?
his like what is yes, the CD 24, like the CD that was 24 was it Rubber Band Man? Was that the CD
Yeah, I'm
that
serious.
24 was on?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
serious.
assuming I think it was Rubber Band Man. I'm not sure. But it's only a few Ti songs I can go back and listen to. Like I used to like this one song he had with Pharrell called "Pussy Popper Number One." Obviously, that song was a good song, but now when I listen to it, like his lyrics are real basic. Like I don't know, Ti just it just Jeezy hit. Like you could just put Jeezy in the car. You can listen to Jeezy now. Like none of his new stuff. I'm talking about just strictly his old Jeezy. Like
Right.
it just his music just like you still get chills listening to Jeezy. I can't remember this. I got an old school Chevy drop top Porsche. Come on, man, just that first mixtape, man. That was a game changer. It was just
I don't know. I am a stan of Ti. Well was. I just it sound different. If listen tomorrow morning, I'm gonna get in my car and I'm gonna crank up 24s and I'm gonna call you or I will make a
you need
video
to.
at
You
8
need to.
a.m. in the
You
morning.
need
That
to.
I will take off and I'm gonna be playing 24s is just so I will I will tell you the first place I was when I heard 24s that introduced me to Ti.
Mm,
I was at my homeboy house, RP to Chris, and he was blasting that shit and like, and I'm like, who is this? And he was like, it's this dude Ti. And when I tell you, every time 24s comes on, I think I'm in that moment,
mm.
and I don't know if
I
it
can
has to
feel that.
do with, like my friend or in like a memory, but I'm telling you, still it's still so live. And then whatever you like with Reagan Gomez and yo, like dog, like Ti is live. His music is not him outside of his music because
But
he a
you
fuck
said
boy. But
okay. I would say Jeezy won't wash Ti, but I still think Jeezy will win. But you said Ti can hang with Wayne though. You said he can hang with.
I think
Do
he
you
could.
realize how long Wayne is? Like
I understand
wow,
because they both
like
have hits. So we okay. So when you really think about the versus battle, the interesting thing is like people we know Gucci Man. I know it's for our culture and everything, but a lot of people have been like tuning in like across all boards at these versus
hits
battles.
aren't the hits
I'm
aren't the
talking
same though. Every hit is not on the same level though.
no, but I think that they both have solid hits, solid features. They can go toe to toe. I would say Wayne up until probably a little bit after I moved to LA because Wayne is a very great art. I think he's very talented, but I think hit for hit that they can hang. I'm just telling it's the truth. Like that would and honestly too, I would have preferred Rick Ross and maybe a Ti as opposed to a Two Chains and a Ti. I mean a Two Chains and a Rick Ross. Think about it. I mean, if you really think about the hit, because it was
Now Rick Ross and Ti would be good. I
no,
think
that would
that'd
be
be a
that
good one.
would have been dope. And I enjoyed Titty Boy too, but I mean, but I really feel like when you really look at a catalog and we if we talking about hits, let's do like five.
Mm,
Let's do five right now. I'm gonna give you I'm
okay,
gonna do one, you do one. Okay. So you're
okay.
a guest. I'm gonna let you go first. What's your first
You
Lil
talking
Wayne
about for
hit?
Rick Ross?
No, Lil Wayne. We're gonna
Oh,
do a
first
top
Lil
five.
Wayne hit. Wayne got so many. No, listen. Lil Wayne has so many songs.
Okay,
It's
so
just
let's go.
and I'm biased though. I don't want to just name all his hot boy stuff because
I
that's
think
what
I
I really
think
want to do.
I think
But
you in the court of law. I think I have you've lost. I've had enough evidence because you can't even give me a song.
how
Hell, you won't even do a
a
top
song?
five.
Okay, okay. A top five Lil Wayne songs. Let me see. I
Okay,
go what?
I'm gonna do one, and then you gonna do one, and I'm gonna do one.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so go first.
Millie.
We getting mic feedback from you. It's something with your mic.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Well, a Millie.
Okay, for Amelie, I'm gonna go up with 24s.
All right. Uh, Lollipop. I can't believe that's crazy.
Whatever you like.
Wow.
You gotta sit on this. It's just throw out a track. You overthinking it.
I don't have to sit on this. I'm just going through all the songs in my head. Like he has so
Just have
many.
fun with it. Too much pressure. We're having fun.
Okay. One of my favorites is "She Will" with Drake. I love that song.
Okay, I'm gonna do Live Fast and Die Young.
What?
Yeah.
You know what? This ain't even Lil Wayne's song, but
That's a feature though. He's on there.
you know what? Oh, the song he got with his best verses with DJ Khaled. What song? What's the name of that song? When he said, "I am a beast, feed me rappers or feed me beats." That was like a murder song. I can't even
Okay.
think of it. What's the name of that song? Hold on. Let me see.
So now Mike has to think about the name of the song. I just did a feature that Ti was on. Actually, I could potentially be wrong about that feature that I just said, but I feel like Ti's definitely on Rick Ross, Live Fast, and Die Young because I know it's Ti. I think it's Ti, Rick Ross, and Ye.
I mean, he on the song. I mean,
Okay, cool,
I'm
cool,
just
cool.
I wasn't expecting if you would have told me to have a list of Wayne songs, I would have been able to get some one because
I,
this
I would.
I'm
This is
actually
literally
people
off
know
the
I'm
top of
fried right
my.
now, so I'm blowing blank on
You
Wayne
want to know
songs
what's
right
so
now.
dope? What's
Hmm.
so dope about this is that literally I just thought of that off the top of my head. I was like, you was going. I was like, all right, well then, cool. Let's make a quick top five. We're gonna go 5 and 5. So that's why I thought of it.
Yeah.
You are fried. It's so funny. Like, yeah, when I was talking to him earlier, Mike was doing the light skin thing. He was like, you was cleaning your phone. But no,
Man.
but I really Ti could hang with Wayne if we really going there now. Drake, that's something different. But
Hold on,
no, no,
whoa. Drake. So
I was saying
so
that's
you
something
take
different. No, I didn't
so you
say
telling
no.
me you don't think Wayne can hang with
No,
Drake?
no, I'm talking about Ti and Drake. You are getting very defensive right now. I don't know. Whatever strain
No,
of
I'm
weed.
saying because you do you know no no listen. Do you know I can bring in Drake songs too?
You did, but then you couldn't
But
follow
that's
up.
what I'm saying. I could bring in Nicki
We can
Minaj
bring
and
it back, whatever. It doesn't. It's just we just going toe to toe. That's all. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So I see where you stand. Your case is still very weak. We,
I'm
cause
saying like how?
you're not even giving me songs. You thinking about it. Just throw out something out there. You can't be that fried, moving that slow.
I'm just saying like I haven't been listening to Wayne that much. Like so that's why like none of his songs are coming to my head. Like
I
let me see.
listened.
All right, let me see. Like if I go back to his CD, like his old CDs, like Lights Out, like Shine, like the song he had Shine is like I bought that song like a few days ago.
Okay, so you did. You have at least listened to
You
Wayne in a
remember that
long.
song?
No.
Yeah, I listened to he got that one song, fuck you, nigga, motherfuck you. I listened to that song probably like a week ago. But I'm still drawing blank because I can just start the Carter three. Like T.I. can't even touch that album or Carter
Okay.
one. Go DJ and all them man, come on
See,
now.
but okay. So now but you even had to think about it. That's fine. That you could have been thrown out. Oh, DJ, and even we. Like
First of all,
I never
you've been talking about T.I. for about 15 minutes and the only song you bring up is 24.
I know I gave you a list of songs off the top of my head, like that. I was like that he could go with.
You
That's why I was
haven't.
like, let's name a list of songs. I am totally here for this. You know how you like y'all? He like you
No,
froze.
I just I'm just amazed that like you like because Wayne has been rapping for so long and he got
Yes,
like
and he's
his this
on a lot of growth, and now I don't know what it is, what he's grown into.
no you know all of them suck now. Jeezy, Wayne, T, all of them suck now. Like we just talking about they whatever that
What?
discography
Why do you
word
think that?
is.
Like,
Yeah,
what happens after time? Like, was like, because how is it that like we have somebody that's like a Jay-Z that's so consistent, and we know everybody gonna run out and listen to a Jay album, whereas it's like, oh, Ti dropped the album,
because
Wayne dropped the album. Like, why do you think that is?
Jay-Z can actually rap.
Oh,
I mean for real. Like they can rap, but they like to me they are like catchy rappers. Like I still love all their music, but Jay Z can actually rap. But he can, and when you can actually rap, you can evolve. You can adapt.
okay,
Like Jay Z, he can freestyle. Like a lot of rappers can't freestyle. A lot of them can't. So when you can freestyle, when you can like adapt the beats, and you can, that's why he's still relevant. Like and then he's smart. Like he knew what to do. He knew he couldn't live off rap forever. And look what he doing now. He ain't got to put his all into it. So he ain't feeling pressure and none of that. So I mean he ain't obligated to make a hit like these other rappers. They gotta make a hit. They gotta do this. Jay-Z ain't gotta do none of that. So it's still effortless to him. That's why when he come out with a double with an album with Kanye, it still sound nice. It still sound good. So Jay-Z always gonna be able to drop because he can rap. He can freeze. He can do all that. He can rap.
yeah, I enjoy Jay-Z a lot. Um, so speaking of Kanye, the other day I was having a conversation with my like play brother or whatever, and we were talking about Kanye's top albums
Mm.
was this or that. What's your top three Kanye albums? Or we can do top five. No, let's do five. Let's do five.
My favorite was My favorite was the 808. I listened
Wow.
to that
Okay.
nonstop. I listened to that nonstop. Like Heartless is my favorite Kanye West. So I don't know. I just bumped that song just nonstop. Just
Say You Will
nonstop.
is my favorite. Say You Will is my favorite on 808s.
Oh yeah. I like
Say
that
You
too,
Will
yeah.
is
That
fire.
song is good.
Okay, so we got
Definitely.
808 number two.
I don't know what you have for two. I'm
Or you want me to go? I'll give you
yeah,
my
you
top
go
five.
ahead. You go
About it.
ahead.
Think about it. Think about yours. Okay. I'm gonna
Mm.
do late registration,
Ooh.
college dropout. Now, actually, my beautiful twisted dark fantasy. Then college dropout. Then I'm gonna do 808, and then I'm gonna do maybe life of. No. I might do life of Pablo. Yeah.
In
I
the top
wasn't that.
five?
I wasn't that huge of a graduation fan like that, and it's weird. But there are songs that I really I did. Yeah, I didn't like graduation like that.
You like the life of Pablo over graduation?
No,
Really?
what? No, because no. Okay, you gonna make me renege. I will say graduation because it had amazing on
I'm
there.
just saying, like,
Yeezy was on there.
that's what I'm
Like
saying. Like, how?
Yeezy
Like,
was on there. Okay, all right, I'll do that. Fine. Honorable
oh,
mention: Life of Pablo.
yeah, I'm like, wow. But
Yeah.
that probably would be my number five though. Like out of all of them, because I don't know, because I like the Jay Z and Kanye West album together, so I probably had it in the top five. They
Solo that now that tour. Oh my gosh, that concert was so dope.
man, I'm
That was my
mad I
first
couldn't go.
staples.
I'm mad I
I'll
couldn't
never
go.
forget. But yeah, I would say okay. So I'm gonna say late registration. Um,
Mm,
My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasies, number two. Number three is College Dropout,
oh, okay,
808s, and Graduation. How do you rank?
okay.
Nigga,
Well,
do you got kids over
well,
there?
you know I had 808's number one, huh?
It sounded like it was a kid over your house, cause that ain't my
Yeah,
house. You
no,
got
that's my
kids?
niece.
Oh, I'm about to say, I was
No,
like,
that's
you a
my niece. No, that,
daddy.
no, not yet. Not yet. That's just my niece.
Okay. All right. So, okay,
All
so you
right.
said Waits is number one. My leg fell asleep.
I would have to go. That happens. I would have to say, God, this is tough. I'd probably say I had late registration number two. Do it to Target FedEx number three. Uh, Dropout four.
Graduation five.
Graduation five. There we go. That's the one I
Graduation.
said I was gonna have five. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, so funny because I have Life of Pop. No, no, he did a concert up here at the Hollywood Bowl for 808s. It was like 2 nights only, so I went by
Okay.
myself. And so you think of concerts, and I'm not thinking it's this outside amphitheater that's kind of nestled in between a residential area. I went hella late, and I got
Yeah.
there toward the middle of the album. I may say you were. I was so pissed. I was literally gonna buy tickets to go the next day, and people was looking at me like when I walked up in there. I was like, "Yo, what time it started?" It was like at sundown. I was like, "What? It's almost over." I was hot,
I haven't seen him
hot.
live. How is he?
Ye is gonna put on a show. I've seen
Mm,
Ye like 3 times, and I saw Yeezus, Watch the Throne, and 808s.
okay.
What saved me on 808s was like in the
Are you
middle
seeing
was
808?
huh? Yeah, oh yeah. So he did 808s out here. It was
Ooh,
just 2 nights, and
ooh,
it was dope. It was dope. And what saved me is that he stopped one of the tracks and made them start over. He's like, that ain't right. Somebody off. Yeah. But 808s,
man,
hell, it was nice. The parts I saw, yeah. But yeah, he's a dope performer. I was
man.
supposed to go to Life of Pablo, but then what happened. He
Yeah.
he yeah. So I was so pissed because I missed the show at the Staples. So we were gonna go to Orange County to see him, and then we got the alert that
Okay.
said that the nigga wasn't performing, and I was just like, you gotta be shitting me. But I miss the old Kanye. I really do, because Kanye was is really is. I don't know if it's that he's too smart for his own good, but I don't know what I just want him to be an artist and just shut up. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I like if you are trying to speak out against like certain things and social injustice and things like that, that's one thing. But the bullshit he be talking about and the stuff that he says, like he need his ass beat. Like just one good time.
Man, it's just like that when he said slavery is not real. When he said that, I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, when he said
What he say?
place, and I was just like, I I still
I
can't believe that he
can't
said
believe he
that.
said that.
And it was weird because even up to that point, I was still like trying to push through, and it's like it's okay. He's just having a nervous breakdown. It's okay. It's
Man,
gonna be okay. And then that happened. I was just like, wait a second. And then even then when he was trying to campaign and run for president recently, like some of the clips I was seeing where he was like erratic, and then even how he was talking to the black girl in the crowd. Um, and then
yeah.
how he treated the white girl like completely different. I was just like, yay. I still just need to shut the fuck up. Like, but I I just can't. And I just want so much more from him. Like he was like everything.
He just doing what his country taught him. You know, we can't be the angry black man towards white women. You know, we can't do that. We can be angry towards y'all all we want to. We can show all that aggression and all that. Because y'all strong. You know, y'all strong and all that. So that all playing the thing. You know, especially when you're on TV. You know, you can't. When he
Right.
really if you really trying to run for president, you can't go off on a white woman. You can't be aggressive. And you remember when even Obama was president, that white lady was all in his face, pointing her finger. You know, come on now. If a black lady was in Trump's face, pointing her finger, Secret Service taking her out, she
Right.
out of there. So it's like it's a different set of rules. So I mean, that's all that was. That's a whole different set of rules for us than it is for them. So
And I think that speaks, that statement right there just alone speaks volume, where it's like where black men are allowed to be like aggressive toward us and nobody else, because then it's a problem. And then it's almost kind of like black men don't want to, just because it's almost like we've created this narrative per se where we've allowed this, because like they always talk about this in rap music, you know, and saying how, oh, that's the only genre of music where you hear, you know, this or bitch that and hold this and suck my dick, and nobody else says that, and or disrespects their own like race, like their own people like that. And I think that that's a conversation within itself too, and how we need
yeah,
to start doing better and right by each other. Like it's all fun and games, and then until shit starts happening, like, you know, like with us
that's why
marching
they
and they keep trying to say like, oh well,
yeah
look at the music, look at the narrative that you guys paint for your youth and all these things, and it's just not that. It's so many obstacles and things that are put in our neighborhoods that make it like a million and one times harder for us to be able to succeed. So
yeah.
I don't know, but I somehow I just want Kanye to wake up. I just want him. I'm like, please.
Hmm.
Because at this point, I don't, you know, like at first I'm like, okay, he doing shit because he, you know, look at who he dating. It's always a center of controversy and
Yeah,
all those things like that. But at this point, I don't even think it's them niggas. I don't. I think he like sometimes it's so funny.
but most black dudes who date non-black women, they make remarks like that. They gonna say some off the wall shit.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
what I'm
'cause
saying.
look,
I mean, like my thing is, I mean, I ain't got no problem with a motherfucker dating a white girl, but or a white man, but don't be trying to down your race while you doing that. Like, what do you got to gain from it? You already know we're going through shit. We got shit against us, and our people are already behind. So like our people, like a lot of our people act out differently. They suffering differently. So you
yeah,
can't, like, it's a lot of generational trauma being passed down, generational brokenness, all that shit. So
yeah,
you can't like you can't tell me how motherfuckers react. 'Cause a lot of motherfuckers they been traumatized since day one. They done seen shit you wouldn't believe. Like a lot of people ain't seen in their lifetime. Like 17-year-olds like seeing dead bodies, and like you won't believe like how normal it is
like
for a motherfucker to be like, oh, you know to stay away from the police. Like we all know this. So it's just a lot of stuff people don't realize that factor in and why we fucked up. So it's just crazy.
when I tell people that I grew up in the like the hood, like it's the West Side, but it's still
Hmm.
there is so they're so confused, because I mean, and a lot of times, like, you know how it is, like we get so sick, we have to code switch. But sometimes, like even black people, like when I
Yeah.
talk from home or certain different places, they don't recognize that we have seen shit like that. Like I remember literally not being able to drive down my street. We lived off of Goodfellow and Page, and I was coming home.
Woo.
Yeah, I was coming home late, like from school. It wasn't like super super late. It was either work or school or whatever the case may be. And
Hmm.
my street was blocked off, and I couldn't get down the street. And there was a dead
Okay.
body hanging out the car. Or it was one morning where I woke up super early, and I thought I heard like a boom, but it sounded like you know how in the city the dump trucks, like they come by, they take the trash and stuff. It sounded like it was just like the trash can, like the dumpster falling, and it was really a gunshot wound, because I heard like a gunshot,
Okay.
and I heard somebody like running through our backyard, and a guy had gotten shot, and up the
Oh,
street it's a school, and he died in the playground, and kids was coming to school. So think about like being in elementary school, like, and you walking up, your parents dropping you off, and there's a dead body in your playground. Like when I tell you, like we are so like it's just like, oh, okay, like it's almost kind of like you are desensitized to that, and we just don't even
have
think about.
you been on the gun memorial website before?
Have I been what?
It's like the gun memorial. It shows everybody's that's been killed by gun violence. Every single person. That
Mm-mm.
like you won't be able to last like five. I couldn't last 2 minutes. I start crying. Like you see children and women, and it's like, oh my god, like you like they got in the United States, every single person that dies from guns, like you see like black kids, white kids. It be mainly us, and it's just like, wow, like man, and it be from cities like St. Louis, Baltimore, Chicago. It's just repeat. You be like, wow, like so many like and they be between the ages of 15, 16, 19, 20. You'd be like, wow, I'm 32. I'd be like, man, I made it. Like I've been working all my life. Like, can you imagine like being in that type of environment to where you gotta join something to stay safe, like making that decision at a young age and having to
Right.
do this because that's all you know. Like that's crazy. That's just
We was just like I said, I told people I was lucky. My sister and I were so lucky because like
mm,
of the activities and stuff that we was, in, and having relatives that lived in the county. I would literally be at my uncle's house pretty much like all summer
mm,
in North County, and working for him. And then, or when we was younger, my mom would
yeah,
ship us off to my aunt's house in the country. Like I would be ripping and running the streets of like Illinois, like Carlinville, a small town, just because it does get crazy and dangerous. And I think about like even when it comes down to like the stuff with like the police and the encounters that I've had with the law in St. Louis, and having
yeah.
people in positions of power on the force, and still like that does not make me exempt from getting pulled over, assault rifles pointed in my face, and threatening to call my uncle and things like that. So it's just wild. But when I tell you, like, it's a blessing, and we in St. Louis is so much work to do that needs to be done, and we all, that's what I was telling you when we were talking about the voting thing. I'm like, yo, we the presidency is one thing, but we have the power to change things on like a local level. I think those things affect us more than in the grand scheme of things, because it's just like the whole thing about the taxes and all this stuff. People like, you gonna raise our taxes? I'm like, you ain't in that bracket. You ain't even nowhere near that bracket to be complaining. So I think a lot of it is we need to start having those conversations instead of just putting signs in our yard, stop killing each other and this and that. It's like,
But
okay,
that's what. But most of our people, we're blind, like we're blind loyalists to most things. So it's like we really don't study like what we getting ourselves into. Like we just go ahead. Okay, so the majority of us are doing this, so we gonna go ahead and do that. So it's just like that, and that's why we don't. That's why I feel like we gonna stay in a repeated cycle unless we hold people accountable. Like if we
mhm,
just keep saying, okay, the Democrats the less racist party, and we gonna get them in office, and then they ain't gonna do shit. They just gonna lock us up, basically. So what they gonna do for us? Because I just feel like if I feel like the slave movies that they put out is like so PC to where they feel like, oh, that's all they went through. But if they really put what white people actually did to us, they would have to give us reparations because they ain't made a real slave movie yet. Like they tell like 1/3 of what actually happened. They try to make it seem like we never rebelled. They try to make it seem like we just bent over, bend the knee. They try to make it seem like we was like that's all. But they never tell. Like even like I was reading this book right, and it said this dude kept a journal of what he did to his slaves. He had a slave that kept peeing in bed. You know he made his slave drink his pee.
what?
Yes, he kept a journal about this. I'm gonna try to send you the link when I find it. But he make this
Okay.
lady drink pee, then he'll go rape, then he'll go another one and do this. And it was just, it's all. Then I read this other story to where they was feeding our children to crocodiles and shit, just all type of
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah, using it as crocodile bait. They definitely did that. Um, I mean, when we think about like how unhealthy um generationally our diets have been, it's just because they would give us the slop. Like that's how niggas was
Man,
eating chickens and pig feet and pig ears and all of that. And I would tell my dad like they would be like, "Oh, you bougie, you don't eat shit." I was like, "No, I'm not." Like we've come such a long way. I'm not
a
eating shit
long way.
pig feet. And I would tell like if we served us like, yo, like we not in the projects. Like, so I don't need to eat like that. Like I work enough, I make my money and I'm gonna treat myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going to eat
Yeah,
healthy and things like that. But even a lot of the stuff that's happening in the COVID scenario, like these hospitals,
yeah,
Western culture doesn't teach people about like holistic ways to heal. Like that's how Mexico really didn't have a lot of those places because
yeah.
they are so spread apart. They don't live on top of each other, and the things that they have are like they grow a lot of stuff. It's so
Do you
organic.
know most of our people don't even know about elderberry? Like that boosts your immune system. Like people don't realize if you like if you take a lot of that and you catch like your body and knock COVID out. Like people don't even think to take vitamins to strengthen their immune system or eat different foods. Like it's certain foods you can eat to strengthen your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
They got like elderberry, like that's an actual berry that people consume or like that make it to a vitamin to that strengthens your immune system. And like I learned about it like when COVID first started. Like I started doing research on it. I'm like, man, so I bought me like 3 cases from Walgreens, and it's like I'm just in case I catch it. Hopefully my body's strong enough to fight it. So because
Right.
I think it's just inevitable for everybody to catch it. I just feel that way. I just think like your body just gonna have to be strong enough to fight it because it's like
It's
everybody.
this that. Yep. And
Yeah,
you hope that by the time you catch it, it's a lesser strain because we were talking about it
yeah,
because I know so many people that have unfortunately contracted COVID, whether it be out here, but a lot of people were in
mm,
St. Louis that contracted it.
yeah.
And I the other day I literally had like a girlfriend, her boyfriend died of that shit. And when I kid you not, like Mike, the day before he
Whoa.
died,
How old
his
was he?
his last Facebook status said, "Who got the Xbox?" And the next day he was dead. It was I was like, wow, like
After
that
catching COVID?
after catching COVID. Like it was like literally like his last Facebook status was a week ago, and then that very next day he was dead.
Man,
So that's what I mean. And I think that's the issue too. It's like we got to start educating ourselves. And like you said, like reading up on things and what works because even I've had close friends that have gotten it. Homeboy, his grandma and his daddy died from it. Um,
yeah,
so it's like, getting back to, basics like I take ginger shots, echinacea, vitamins, all of that, zinc, everything just to stay on top of it because I have a pre-existing condition. Like I have asthma. And that's one of the things
yeah,
too. It could go either way. So I'm just trying to do my part to make sure that I am like staying safe and you know, having to work through COVID and having so many coworkers get that shit, it's a whole nother beast. So I think that's part of it too. So it's just like you said, doing the part, eating healthy and not eating out of convenience. And I know that's like easier said than done, but I think a lot of it is, like you said, like
way
generation
easier.
that happened and we just got to start doing better. And I think that's the cool thing about, our generation is that we want so much more for ourselves.
Exactly. It's a reason why eating healthy is expensive. It's a reason.
Yeah.
It's definitely a
And
reason.
it really is. And even talking to my dad, he was like, it was no such thing as like organic options because everything was organic. We wasn't pumping food up with all the stuff that's in food now that makes people sick. And he was like,
Exactly.
growing up, if you saw a kid that was overweight, you knew that it was like the kid was likely sick and they had been pumped up with like some sort of steroid. But he was like, you really didn't see, overweight kids and people growing up. So I think a lot of it is unlearning a lot of terrible habits. And again, it's easier said than done, but if you do the work, I think we can start to cultivate a better tomorrow for not just us, but like the kids that come after us too.
Yeah. I
I
just
got
think
heavy
that's they gonna have to give us what they owe us. I just feel.
at this point because, like, yo, my nigga, if listen, because the fact that they gave the Jews reparations after that war.
Hey, hold on, time out. You know, we just gave the Japanese Americans reparations. You know, they get like 80 some thousand a year, I think, each Japanese American. You know, Japanese Americans get reparations. Yeah, people don't even know that. We give Japanese Americans reparations.
Yo, my nigga, we didn't ask to be here, and y'all took us. Yeah, y'all, and y'all went and blew them motherfuckers up like in Hiroshima. Like I
Man, that's what I'm
so,
saying.
but it's like,
And not them Japanese. I'm talking about the ones that was here, the ones that from concentration camps. They descendants. They giving them money. So like, yeah, them the ones that still here, they giving them money. Yeah, so
wow.
Japanese Americans, yeah, they getting, you can look that up. They're straight getting money. I think that
No
started like
wonder they
last year,
have
2019 or 2018.
product. No wonder.
That's why they able to come here and start businesses and do all this. I'm telling you, man, like it's crazy to like I think even America gave some Jews some money. Like I ain't saying everything that happened to the Japanese American Jews, they deserve that money. But you telling me we don't deserve ours? Like we went through far worse than what all them went through. Do you
Yeah.
know like the worst serial killer ever, King Leopold, killed like something like 100 something million Africans? And they
Mm-hmm.
don't even bring him up. They love to bring up Hitler, but they
Yeah.
don't never bring up the what they'll never bring up like and this is crazy like Muhammad Ali said the craziest thing like it's crazy how like they can get us to join the military to try to do to other people what they did to us like
Yeah.
that's the crazy like he was like any black person that joins the military they should get a psycho test because how can you feel comfortable going to another country doing to another people what they did to you like how can you
Yeah.
look yourself in the mirror.
And I think that too is we seeing that even more and more how that's a whole nother scheme and fraud within itself
Yeah,
because we even see how like the shit that they just do to women.
man.
Remember when um they first went to like Iraq and all that shit. What was it, Abu Ghraib?
Yeah,
And how they was like
yeah,
electrocuting them and taking and like humiliating and embarrassing
yeah.
them. The photos. And
Hey,
I'm
hey,
like,
hey, stop right there, because I was just gonna bring it up. Stop right there. Think about this. And them modern Americans, look at what they're doing in concentration camps. Think about what the Americans was doing back in slavery when it wasn't pictures and it wasn't shit. Them Americans, like that's what I'm saying. Like people don't realize, like what the fuck, like they doing that shit now in the military. Imagine what they was doing back then. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's 10 times worse. But that's crazy. Like how they like
uh-huh.
they like they was fucking men in the ass in the Iraqi concentration camp. Like women was having sex with them, men was having sex with men. Like it was like they was doing them wrong, and that's crazy. Like just like the
Yeah.
kids here, there's so many kids getting, there's so many kids going to missing, but we know they ain't missing. They selling them. They selling the
Yeah. Oh
kids.
yeah.
We
Absolutely.
know what's up. And my thing
Absolutely.
is, how are Latinos and Mexicans voting for Trump? Like I don't like how are y'all like they always say I don't see Black Lives Matter in the streets. Why do we gotta protest for everybody? Y'all should be in them motherfucking streets trying to get y'all people. Y'all need to
Mm-hmm.
be on Washington's doorstep knocking down shit. I'm telling you now, if they had niggas in cages locked up, you think we'd be sitting around like, hold on, what? Oh no,
Well,
come
the
on
issue with
now.
that, simple, white supremacy. So they realize and recognize what they do to what they do to us, and then they also see how we treat each other, so they use that as argument as well. So you got to think about it, because we see it within our race too, with black men and women. Look at Candace Owens, look at that Herman Cain, like, that died of that shit. And what's the dumbass surgeon like they had over HUD, whatever the fuck. I was about to call him Ben Simmons, but that is clearly a
His
basketball
name, his
player.
name Ben Carson, I think. I think
Ben
that's his name,
Carson.
Ben Carson. He a
But
coon.
so yeah, so you think about that, and you think about like how they want to assimilate. And so black people and people of other colors have this idea where when I make so much money and I get to this level, white people ain't gonna see my color. I become one of them. I pay the same taxes as them. I'm in the same rooms as them. I'm eating with they silver spoons and all of this stuff. And so for me, I have now reached the higher ground.
Yeah,
Though at the end of the day, it's like Jay-Z said, it's you still a nigga. And so,
yeah,
because when everything, I mean, look at when you look at Herman Cain. Herman Cain is a prime example of, and I'm not saying that he deserves to die. I ain't that type of bitch, but I'm gonna say that you subscribing to white supremacy and all of this stuff got you killed. They didn't stop and honor him. They didn't say nothing about him at all. Yet here we are, and you dead because you went to this Trump rally. You didn't wear no mask. Everybody got exposed. Your family, everybody
mm,
got exposed, and that's what happened. So that's how insert Ben Carson. Same thing, rolling with Trump. Campaigning for him and all this stuff. And what happened? You, along with everybody else that's been in that White House, saying that this shit is a hoax. How are you? How are you this smart and so dumb? I don't get it. And so that's what happens.
they don't believe it's a hoax. They just
And
they just throwing propaganda. They want as many Americans to die as they can. Like that's the
yeah,
whole game. It ain't no doubt in my mind the way they run this shit. They want as many Americans to die as they. And my focus is they want as many. I think before they give us reparations, they want as many of us to die as they can. Because I feel it's like if they believe if we would go out and just buy Cadillacs and bullshit and blow our money, they'd give us reparations. But they know it'd be so many businesses popping up. They see how businesses popping up now without shit. Can you
yeah,
imagine if you gave a lot of Black Americans money? Do you know they need somebody to be at the bottom?
they do.
We wouldn't be. They need somebody just like how they burned down Tulsa. They seen the foundation in the 1920s. Imagine giving us money in 2020. They won't do that. They
Yeah,
know how we will
it's too
prosper.
many. It's too many niggas that know how to flip it now. And so it's a
Man,
it it's a game, like, and it's like, oh my gosh, I got so scared. You can come out. Oh my god, I was so scared. I was like, I see something black, but then I was like, is my contacts in here right? But yeah, it's the same thing, and I just feel like a lot of times within that, it's just that we recognize that we need to do better, but we don't have the same advantage. Like you said, it's like we 20, 30, 40 steps behind, and we trying to play catch up, and it's a vicious cycle, and it kills us. And because we know we
man,
deserve so much more than what we offering, but somehow in that we know we within us knowing that we don't offer that to ourselves, like our community, because like when we get paid,
yeah,
it's like several hours for our dollars to leave our neighborhood. Whereas like in the Jewish community, it takes months. Asian community
mm.
is like a couple weeks, but
Because we don't have shit. We
we
can't
don't
keep in
have
our
to.
communities because they own all the stores. They let these people come in. They buy up all the stores. They buy up all the land. They buy up like we don't have the resource to buy shit because we're still behind from shit that they did. They still
Mm-hmm.
won't address the fact that they because we were promised 40 acres and mule. Like people don't even realize we was promised all this shit. All our
Yep.
money was put. They was like, if y'all work, we're gonna put your money in the bank. This bank collapsed. Then they reneged on it, took all the money. Like people don't realize. Like, do you like? I tell people to think about it. I think somebody said this. I heard it from somewhere. They said, during the Depression, when 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 white people went hungry,
Something is
what
on
is that?
fire. Is that my house? It is. It's our house. Oh my god!
I just
I
heard
was talking
that.
all this. Hold on.
Whew. I guess we got a fire or something.
Look, our smoke detectors fighting against each other. Hold on. At least I can cut this out the audio and not the video because this is streaming live into YouTube. Hold on. Oh, okay, there it is. I was like, Mike, something's on fire at your house. Like, I'm
I
literally.
looked up. I'm like, damn, that can't be mine. It was terrible. The only thing my
It's
smoking.
terrible. Oh no, it's fine. Um, but no, all jokes aside, like I
Mm,
just feel like, and we talk about that all the time, like just how the girls buy all the land, like in Georgia, and you got people starting to buy back the block in St. Louis.
yeah.
And I was telling people, I tell people out here, I was like, yo, like first of all, it's so cheap to kind of get a house in St. Louis in certain areas, but then also they had that program where you could buy a vacant house for like $1. Not only that, it's that program where if you, let's say it's a vacant house next to your house and you mow
Mm,
that lawn for like 7 or 10 years, they you can acquire that property. They sign that property over to you
mm.
in the city. So I think is those are the
Who would
conversations.
mow a line for 7 years though? That's crazy.
I know. Well, you know the city. We won't talk about
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
I just feel like a lot of the conversations like is okay, we know we recognize we have a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we gonna do amongst us to fix it? Because we see how they put crack and they put guns and all this stuff into our neighborhoods. So it's like, what is the conversation going to be amongst us? We need to have a meeting of the minds to move forward. Because that low key, like, I feel like, yes, I want to, like, marching, protesting is one thing. Okay, these niggas don't give a fuck about us. We know that. Because even with Black Lives Matter, as much as I'm here for it, I'm like, is there a website or a spokesperson where we can know what the agenda is? Because I'm like, okay, we want the world to know that
I
Black
don't
lives.
like Black Lives Matter at all. I mean, I like the message, but the people that actually run it like this, they got black women and homosexual. Like I ain't got nothing against gay people, but they took over the
I'm like,
movement.
don't come on this platform
I'm
with
not.
that.
I'm not. I'm not. But that's who run it though. That's who got caught with the money. They accepting all the money. They not what y'all doing with the money? Because like they not investing in no hoods. None of that. What are y'all doing with the money?
So that's the whole thing with Black Lives Matter. I think
Yeah.
that no, I don't. So that's the whole thing because, like, a lot of people don't fuck with like DeRay or what they call him Talcum X, Sean
Yeah.
King, because they had uncovered that like people was just getting like famous really quick off of this because like DeRay like ran for like mayor in like Baltimore or some shit. Money came up missing from like that shit with Mike Brown, all of that. So I think the conversation is just like, okay, what's the agenda? Like, okay, what are we fighting for? And that's what I was saying. Like, okay, well, if we get these Democrats in office, I don't want Ti or Lil Wayne or G or Kanye speaking up for me
Oh, that's who
because
gonna speak. They gonna like Malcolm X said. They gonna find them famous puppets who gonna tell them what they want to hear.
but we got to stop allowing that. We got to stop saying like we can't just keep having like, oh my gosh, she sounds stupid or this or
It
that.
ain't
Like
us. It ain't us. That's who
but
they choosing.
but I'm saying you are in a tax bracket that some of our people would never ever touch,
Yeah.
and so you can't
Most
fight.
of our people, shit.
Yeah, you you can't have a conversation on the behalf of our people when we're not fighting the same fight. Because you get to
Exactly.
go home in your gated communities where you get to be like, you remember T.I. was like, you don't know who I am. They wouldn't let him in, and he had went to jail for that.
Exactly.
So it's still the same thing. It's still nigga, and it's like like you trying to play me, but I'm going home to the ghetto. Well, I
Man,
got my back going into my house.
man.
So that's what I mean. I'm like, we gotta stop letting these people. It's just like, no, shut the fuck up. Like, we not fighting the same thing. So now it needs to be those conversations where we're talking to like people, you and me, talking to those elected officials. And it's just like, we voted you in, we holding you accountable. You don't want to do it, we'll have a special election and get you the fuck out. And put
Hmm.
somebody that looks like you and me on that in that seat to actually make change
But I
happen.
wonder how they do. What's his name? The tackle mix. What's the dude? Sean King. Like my thing is, can't no white person tell me about black issues. Like I don't understand. Like how he like
Well, that's the thing. It's like Sean King ain't supposed to be white.
man.
Sean
All right.
King just Sean King just supposed to be black. But at this point, how these white people been getting over Rachel Dollars, all these people, I wouldn't be surprised if he was white for real. That's the whole thing. Like
Nah, I
Sean King
don't
is
know.
really not supposed to be black. I mean,
All I
it's
know is he ain't never said nigga. I know he not black because he afraid to say that. He
I
that's the proof. Come on now. Well, come on.
you know what? Now that you think about it, can we tweet him? Can we harass him on Twitter and say, "Can you say nigga, please?"
Oh no, I don't want to do that. 'Cause he gets his ass whooped. Somebody gonna catch him. You already know he a thief. Shit.
I, I mean, that's the thing. It's just like we gotta, like, who are these people? What happens? Like, I just feel like the conversation and it's a shift, and we need to be having a secret meeting, just how they was having them secret meetings with the police and fucking watch me. Like, I feel like black people need that. Go somewhere off grid. You got to leave your phone in the car and us having a serious meeting just because we got to do better and we deserve so much more and we know they're not going to give it to us. I can't, your sound.
I forgot that right one don't work. Mm. You can hear me now?
I can hear you.
You can hear that right? Yeah, that right earpiece don't work. I'll be forgetting that. You can't hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just laughing
Oh,
at
okay.
you.
Oh, okay. You silly. But no, I'm just saying, like, some of us benefit off white supremacy. That's why I believe some of us don't want. Like, I put the status up. I said one day, I said some niggas don't want it to change. Everybody got like, what you mean? Like niggas don't want it to change.
Oh,
Like you see, it's a lot of shucking and jiving on TV. Like they benefit from this. Why would they like? Why would they want to give up their position to for a lot? Like that's the thing though. It seems like a lot of black people don't want to see all of us winning.
they
Like
don't. Because they don't think it's enough room and they feel like, oh, I got to make a seat at the table. I got to adjust and
that
all of
shit.
the things. And they don't. Because, like, but like I said, I put up a status even after the Megan situation. Like, I feel like niggas, and we know how embedded, like deep rooted, like misogyny, homosexuality, all that is in our rap community. And nobody stood up for her. But all y'all niggas was talking about how y'all wanted to fuck her. So you want to fuck me, you want to what? You want to do these things, but you don't want to have my back. And
Right.
seeing the comments even from black women regarding that, I was like, a lot of black women don't understand the plight of black women and it's the same thing as far as our culture as a whole. Like
Yeah.
people don't understand like what's happening, what we fighting for, what's going on, like what we and I just feel like they don't give a fuck. Cause like it's no way in hell that somebody puts a picture up of their foot, the stitches, and y'all still saying she made it up. And the fact that it was okay that we created a space for this motherfucker to even go live to say that that didn't happen, the truth is gonna come out. Where are his people? Where are your friends? Sometimes you just gotta shut up. Same thing, like I'm like, where are your black friends? Where are your friends? Where are your real friends? And then to be able to even drop an album and then for people to go and listen to it. That's what I mean. So that's why people laugh at us and it's not okay. Like we gotta start looking back at
Like,
ourselves.
we a show. Like I said, like we can be bought all that because like it come from all that. Like it come from like how they strategically tore up our families, how
Yep.
they how they did all this and brought crack into our neighborhoods. Like they saw this. They was like, okay, so and I was this old dude told me he was like when Muhammad Ali stood up to them and said, "I'm not gonna fight." He was like all his family stood behind him and all that. And he was like, from then on, they had a warm black people felt. It was like we can't have these community of black people just rallying together like this because it's gonna come to bite us in the ass. So we got
Yep.
to start. We got to start breaking up their families. We can't have a support system like it is. They're gonna go too strong, and they seen it. So I just felt like people don't realize how brilliant they are. Like how I said Louis, yeah, Louis Farrakhan. He said they wickedly brilliant. That was like he said that you got to realize that everything is a plan that's set in motion. Don't think it's a coincidence that things are happening to you that's just fucked up. Everything's meant to happen to you because it's designed that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed that way. So don't think is like don't look at like because that's why like when you look at another person, you be like, damn, why he ain't doing this? Like I was able to do it, but you got to realize his situation different. He probably didn't have that same opportunity that you had because everybody didn't grow up in a house. Like some of these, some people that grew up in an apartment all their life or grew up in a little section they building all their life. So you like people didn't have the same opportunities. They didn't have that support
Right.
system to where
Right.
I had to go in the house. Like I couldn't stay outside. I had to go in the house when the street lights came on when I was young.
Yep.
People that same age that I had that was able to stay outside all night.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm
No,
saying. Like,
I remember those days very well, and I think so too. It's just like I was explaining to my homegirl. We worked together, and we was talking about like dating and different things, and like you know coming up different. She from Baltimore,
mm,
and I was saying how growing up I my mom at a very young age was like pounding and instilling like characteristics and self-esteem and values and all that into me because she knew how the world could potentially treat me and what I can encounter, and if I was weak, how it could take a toll on me. Not only that, like even within our community, how very alive and well like colorism is. And my big sister is very like light skinned, and we
mm,
had the same mama and daddy. So you know how that is sometimes. But we had the
yeah,
same band, and how dating and how people would treat me differently just solely based on that alone. So it was
mm,
like, people not gonna like you because you this color or this or that, because your hair was long and you're tall, you're skinny, and all these different things. So knowing that and knowing my value and worth at such a young age, that when
yeah,
I got 30, I'm 33, you can't tell me shit. And it's always been like that. And people can
yeah,
call it cocky, arrogant, or whatever, but it's confidence and it's self-esteem. And a lot of motherfuckers don't have it. And I'm seeing how like not having that has plagued so many people that I know.
man,
And so
it do,
I am so fortunate because I thought this was normal. And when I talk to my girlfriends now, there's like, you're so lucky. Like that is dope. I had to figure out and navigate certain things on my own. I was like, oh, like I thought these were like conversations that, that everybody had growing up. I just thought it was normal.
mm,
And it wasn't. And so I'm just like, wow, I'm forever grateful for those moments. And not only that, like that kind of also spearheaded me kind of like being able to move away. Yeah, there were other things that I had to work through on my own to even get to this level, to get to this, this podcast. And I'm gonna keep doing it. It might be 5 or 10 people, but I'm gonna keep pushing it until it's
yeah,
millions of people. You know what I mean? Keep, going. Like even my candles, like my hunger, I was like, I have been talking about it for so long. And she was like, God damn it, D, just do it. And I was like, all right, let me set up the meeting with the people so I can start. Because I'm not even going, I was like, people say, oh, you took the easy route. I got a full-time job. I can't sit and formulate and do all these things. If it's a way, where I can get a cheat code, I might do the cheat code.
man, right. Because you live in LA, because things is not cheap out there. Ooh wee.
Shit, rent is not cheap.
I
Dating is
know
not.
it ain't.
Breathing is not cheap.
I know it's not. Trust me.
So I was like, all right, cool. Like I got a company that I'm working with that can manufacture. We gonna work on the scents together. All right, cool. So that's how I started doing that. And I was like, Warren Buffett said like the only way to be, wealthy is to have multiple streams of income. Now I got
Yeah.
two coming in,
Okay.
So now I'm trying to get three because I'm about to start cosmetics. But it's like being able to just push through and, realize that, you know, they not gonna give it to us. I'm gonna come and take it. I'm coming for what's mine. And I feel like that's why I have to tell everybody in Navigas, like, take it. You deserve it. You deserve to be here
But
just as much as
imagine, but imagine
else. A
if
lot of
your
bitches gonna
daddy,
be your-
but imagine if your daddy and your mama was in a position like Jeff Bezos' parents and Donald Trump parents, so they was able to give you a loan for you to do something.
Mhm.
Like imagine where you would be at if you got $1 million loan, or like Trump said, a small loan, $1 million loan to start you a little whatever you wanted to do. Imagine
Mhm.
like where you would be at now with that. That's what I'm saying. Like they robbed our like, because imagine like generations would have been set to where you don't like a lot of our people that's dying out, they would be alive. Like that's why they made us poor. So like we'd be fighting each other for the little resources that we have.
Right.
So
It's,
a lot of motherfuckers wouldn't be dying over shoes or dying over drugs or dying over shit if we had shit. Like a lot of us still be a lot of people don't even think about that. Like if we had reparations right now, a lot of these young cats would still be alive. I mean, it'd still be sin and crime and stuff,
is
but
this my house again?
yeah, that's definitely your career. Got to be, or maybe I don't know.
All right, my bad. I'm back. Look. But yeah, no, that's true. I think it's like one of those things, like again, where we just know that we just got to keep moving forward and keep pushing. And I never, honestly, I never looked at that like like that because I've had like one of my close cousins that grew up like a brother, like you know, get killed, like because somebody's trying to rob them, and then even in the
Exactly.
like early '90s, like '96, like my other cousin um was killed, and they had robbed him. So it's the same. I never even thought about that if people had access to certain things, how potentially
Yeah.
that could have the narrative on a lot of things. But
Like we'll
also,
be
too,
able to build our own neighborhoods to be safer. Like people don't even realize that. Like you go out to St. Peter's, like imagine that St. Louis City looking just like that. If
yeah,
everybody had money, like houses would look better and all type of things. Like people would take care of their houses, like take care of their areas, do all this and that. People like, come on now, like it's the game is the game. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I feel like they really want to hold this out as long as they can, but it's hard to where like the millennials we know they owe us, so it's just like they know they can't keep this away from us for too long. They
I
can't.
think part of it too is like getting back to basics in our community, like knowing how important community is. Like we keep talking about it, like having our own thing. It's like, okay, well, we've seen this work before. So how do we set aside our differences and
Hmm.
get back to that point? So I mean, I'm just saying. It got cold. I got a blanket. Um but I just also feel that um I mean, it's some people out there like laying the groundwork for that. And I got a homegirl that
Yeah.
moved off grid. Um, and She live in Arizona somewhere and trying to build like a community. They also kind of one of those like Black Israelite type things. So that's a little hoteppy for me, but I digress. But it's a
That's smart though, because anything pro black or that's smart. Anything pro black or anything that we try to do, the feds gonna get an eye on it. They like it's to the point like that where they gonna try to infiltrate anything we do. So like anything, like I like best believe anything like that black people got going on, like they gonna try to get them. Like they
yeah.
gonna try to get to the bottom of it, or huh?
Low key. I'm sorry, this is hella random, but my name is Phil Rock. How come you didn't check me on that?
You say your what?
My name on here, it's a wishy sour, not whiskey sour.
I just realized that.
I'm trying to change it, and
That's funny as hell.
I can't change it. So that's what I was doing. My bad.
That's funny
I
as
was
hell.
already coming into this, so and it's so funny because when we was talking about the Jeezy thing, I was like, "Oh, I got a funny story to tell you regarding
Okay,
the Jeezy." Um, because we've been on here for like an hour and 11 minutes.
I see.
I want to wrap it up because I do definitely want to get you back, but I want to
Okay,
get you back with like a couple of other people. Maybe we can start like having that conversation, starting a panel about like
cool.
the next steps, especially back home because like though I don't live there, I'm still so in the know about what happens. Like my one of my good friends, his little brother and his friend got killed on Grand this summer. Delivering
Man,
DoorDash. Somebody came and sprayed their car, and the kids were like 19. And it
woo.
was like they were gang banging, like they wanted to be producers. Like my homeboy works for like Atlantic Records out here.
Yeah,
So wanting to follow in the footsteps of him, like doing living right. Um, but the Jeezy conversation, because it's so funny. Speaking of crack, snowmen, all of this. I in
yeah.
college, I had this boyfriend and I had a key to his house. And so I was going to hang out with him. He was telling me like to meet him at the house. So I'm like, all right, cool. I beat him there. I had to go to the bathroom. So I'm go to the bathroom and I wash my hands. And I look and it's a CD case. I was like, ooh, Jeezy, say it out loud. I said it out loud. And I pick it up to look at it. I was like, oh, it's a burnt CD. So, you got to open it because it was just like, it was like his mixtape. And not noticing that something fell out of it. So I'm looking at the track listing, but then I look to the right and I realize it's a scale disguised as a CD case. Nigga, I look down and it's crack. It's crack in these little bags for distribution. And I was like, I asked this motherfucker, does he sell drugs? And he told me no. And all of this stuff, right? So I'm trying to pick up like the crack. So the crack done fell in his hair grease and I'm trying to like nigga, like trying to clean the bag off just so and trying to sit it back where it looked like I didn't touch it. So I cleaned the crack bag off, everything. And I'm just like, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. Cause what if the feds is watching and they're gonna come and kick in the door and they're gonna take me to jail and then I wanna be like, well, my fingerprint technically on the bag, but there's only on the bag because I cleaned the bag off because it fell in the air grip. So I call my homegirl. Shout out to Robin. I call my homegirl and I'm like, yo, can I come over? I got a problem.
Mhm.
So I go over to her house, mind you, like he lived kind of like in Bell Fountain, but my homegirl lived in Delwood, so they like
Okay.
right there. And I go over to her house and he calls and it's like, where you at? I thought you was coming over. I said, yeah, I had to go to Robin's house because she needed to talk to me about something in person. I'll be back over.
Yeah.
So she's like, how you gonna talk to him? I was like, well, I'm gonna ask him. She's like, I asked this nigga before and he lied. I'm like, all right, I got an idea. So I go back over to his house and we talking
Mhm.
or whatever, and I'm hella uncomfortable. Because mind you, like literally not too long prior, my cousin had just gotten killed over this like dumb shit. So I'm
Yeah.
like, still PTSD from that, trying to trying to be calm and not come in like nigga. Da, da,
Yeah.
da, da. So I'm like, hey, are you selling drugs? He's like, nah, no. Like, look at me in the eye. And I was like, huh, all right, I'm gonna ask you again. Are you selling drugs? No, I'm not selling drugs. I said, you a motherfucking lie because I saw your crack rocks in the bathroom. So you either smoking crack or you dealing it. And he was like, when you start listening to Jeezy, my nigga, I
Wow.
I'm like,
That nigga is terrible.
and it took everything in me not to laugh because I'm mad. But I'm like, really, you gonna hit me when I start
Mhm.
listening to Jeezy? Like everybody's listening to
That's
Jeezy.
funny as hell.
And I just
Damn
was like,
right.
nigga. So I made a very dramatic exit. And I like just ran out the door and he like chased me down the steps and I like got in my car and pulled off. Yeah. I would come to record with him in a very dramatic way later down the line, but that is a story for another day.
That's crazy. He said when
I'm
you
like, when you start listening to Jeezy. The
that's
fuck?
funny as hell.
Yeah. So yeah. So I guess technically I got Jeezy in the battle because of that.
Wow. Yeah, so
That was,
next we got the Gucci win. We will be talking about this.
so we still thinking Gucci gonna win. Do you think it's strange that Jeezy is even wanting to battle him? Because then didn't that nigga kill his homeboy?
Yeah, the story was Gucci was laid up with some chick and like five dudes barged in, and Gucci had like he was in a fight with one of them and grabbed the gun and ended up killing one of the dudes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and they
So
were supposed to
is that
be
how
from like
Gucci ended up
Macon,
going?
Georgia.
That's how Gucci ended up going to jail,
Yeah,
right?
he like he didn't go to jail for killing. He went to jail for because he a felon. Felons can't have guns, so he went to jail for that.
Right.
Because he would have got off if he wasn't a felon. So
Yeah. Because I mean that's technically self defense. If you ran up on me, you were my shit. But
yeah,
I mean, Gucci out here clowning this nigga, and it's like if he gonna wear the outfit that's on the cover of his latest album, I'm fucking leaving. And then even made a meme, like there was a meme about him, where he was like, "Oh, go dig up your dead, like your homie," and I'm like, "Yo, like you really want the smoke?"
did you see Gucci posted?
Yes.
Man, that's crazy. I
So
wonder
I'm
if they're
telling
gonna be in the same
you,
room. If they're in the same room, that's gonna be crazy.
yo, I'm gonna try not to fall asleep on this one because I fell asleep on a lot of them. As you
You
saw, I had to come
did?
up and take a nap today to come up in here. So I've been
Yeah,
needing that. I've
I'm
been
getting
needing.
some popcorn, liquor, all that.
Listen, I don't know, but we're gonna have to come back and do this another day.
Definitely.
Cause yeah, most definitely. Look at you being smart and stuff. I didn't know you was smart like that.
I got
You
some. You I
educated.
got some. Definitely got some more reparations talk in me. So anytime.
Yes. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Sorry for the smoke detectors. Sorry for spelling my name wrong on the if you watch the
Wow. That
video. I
mother
don't know how
is.
I did that. And then so hopefully can you get your smoke detector fixed soon? Thank
I'm
you.
trying. I put the work order in. The people in downtown be bullshitting. They taking forever, so I'm waiting on them.
Oh my
They're higher
god.
and selling.
I'm gonna need
I'm
you
not
to
replacing. I ain't
ladder
wasting my
take
money
it
and
because this is ridiculous.
stuff. It be like
I,
that.
I do shit like that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna borrow this coffee table for a party, and then I pack it right back up and take it to Target. It didn't work out.
It was terrible.
Mike,
It was
Mike,
terrible.
tell them where they can find you on social media.
He was terrible, man. He was terrible.
I'm from the West Side. What you expect? I
I
do nigga.
see. He was terrible.
I do this shit sometimes. Hey,
He was crazy, man.
man. All right, give us your social.
Wow. Tell me what? Oh,
What?
I thought
Not me.
you know how I thought.
You are high as hell. Okay, listen, y'all can find Mike on Twitter and on Instagram at Sir Mike Creighton. Y'all can
And
find me.
Twitter, them the same ones.
It's
All
the
everything.
one he y'all and he is fucking hilarious. Like some days you be like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and the other days, and the majority of the days you just laugh. So he's a great person to follow. Um, and
Hey.
I am at Whiskey Sour, not wishy sour, whiskey sour, because clearly I'm high and drunk at the same time. And on Instagram, and if you want to follow my tweets, I'm a little still incognito. At one day I will change everything to the same thing, but because of work, I am at Pretty Sadiddy. That's PRTTY SADDITY. And don't forget to buy a candle, y'all. I got like 32 left, and I'm almost sold out. So I'm gonna need for y'all to.
Oh yeah, I gotta get mine. Shit.
I
I need you
sent
to
you the
recommend me some. You did?
nigga buy whiskey soured and Devereaux. No,
I'm
actually,
gonna look at my email, but yeah, you gotta tell me which
it's
ones to get.
okay. We'll take that offline. But I'm gonna see y'all niggas next week. Stay safe in these streets. Wear a mask and stay safe.